6 quirky habits that could be fooling you. Find out now. Ever been stuck in a conversation where someone confidently states something that makes you wonder if you've somehow entered an alternate reality? Or maybe you've witnessed a decision so spectacularly ill-conceived that it circles back to being almost impressive in its absurdity. In the vibrant, fast-paced, and let's be honest, sometimes bewildering world of New York City, we encounter all sorts of characters and thinking styles. And while we all have our moments of brain fog, have you ever noticed certain recurring habits that just make you pause and tilt your head in intellectual curiosity? Are there subtle clues in everyday behavior that might suggest someone isn't exactly firing on all cylinders when it comes to critical thinking? We're not talking about rocket science here, but rather those quirky tendencies that make you think, maybe they haven't quite connected those dots. In this article, we're going on a fun and insightful exploration of 6 quirky habits that might just hint at moments where someone's genius might be taking a little coffee break. We'll approach this with humor and a spirit of observation, drawing upon the wisdom of Stoicism to understand how these habits might stem from a lack of reasoned thinking and how we can all strive for a bit more clarity in our own lives. By the end of this lighthearted journey, you might just find yourself nodding along in recognition, both of others and perhaps even of yourself. Ready for a bit of brain-tickling fun? Before we dive into these intriguing habits, take a moment to scroll down and share in the comments. What's the most unintentionally funny, less-than-genius moment you've ever witnessed? No names, please. Your stories will add to our collective amusement. And if you're keen on sharpening your own thinking skills and enjoying a humorous look at human quirks, click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell for more entertaining and insightful content. Let's have some mind-blowing fun together. Now let's delve into the 6 quirky habits that we might playfully associate with moments of less-than-genius thinking. We'll explore each habit with a lighthearted approach, while also drawing connections to the Stoic principles of reason, mindfulness, and the importance of accurate perception. We'll even touch upon some real-world examples and perhaps a philosophical quote or two to add a bit of depth to our humorous observations. Number 1. The echo chamber enthusiast, trapped in a world of self-affirmation. One habit that might make you wonder if someone is truly engaging with diverse perspectives is their tendency to live in an echo chamber. This isn't about having strong convictions, it's about an active avoidance of differing viewpoints and a preference for surrounding oneself only with those who agree with them. From a Stoic perspective, this habit reflects a lack of intellectual humility and a resistance to the virtue of wisdom, which involves a continuous pursuit of knowledge and understanding, even when it challenges our existing beliefs. As Socrates famously said, "I know that I know nothing." The echo chamber enthusiast, however, often operates under the illusion of complete knowledge, shutting out any information that might disrupt their comfortable worldview. In the competitive environment of New York City, where innovation and diverse perspectives are often key to success, this habit can be particularly limiting. Imagine a colleague who only reads news sources that confirm their existing political biases and dismisses any other information as fake news. This closed-mindedness can hinder their ability to understand complex issues, collaborate effectively with others who hold different views, and ultimately make sound judgments. Research in social psychology has shown that exposure to diverse perspectives can lead to more creative problem-solving and a more nuanced understanding of the world. The echo chamber enthusiast, by actively avoiding this exposure, might be missing out on valuable insights and opportunities for growth. Consider the story of Ray Dalio, the successful investor who emphasizes the importance of radical open-mindedness and actively seeking out differing opinions to refine his understanding of the market. His approach stands in stark contrast to the echo chamber enthusiast, highlighting the intellectual benefits of embracing diverse perspectives. Number 2. The assumption aficionado, leaping to conclusions without a parachute of facts. Another quirky habit that might suggest a moment of less than genius thinking is the tendency to make sweeping assumptions without bothering to check the facts. This habit runs contrary to the Stoic emphasis on reason and logic. Stoics believed in carefully examining evidence and avoiding hasty judgments based on incomplete information. As Marcus Aurelius advised, never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if need be, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. The assumption aficionado, however, often leaps to conclusions based on flimsy evidence, hearsay, or their own preconceived notions, treating these assumptions as established truths. Imagine someone in New York City overhearing a snippet of a conversation and immediately constructing an elaborate, and often negative, narrative about the people involved, without knowing the full context. This tendency to fill in the blanks with assumptions can lead to misunderstandings, misjudgments, and ultimately, poor decision-making. Research in cognitive psychology has identified various cognitive biases, such as confirmation bias, which can lead people to seek out information that confirms their existing beliefs while ignoring contradictory evidence. The assumption aficionado might be particularly susceptible to these biases, leading them down paths of flawed reasoning. Consider the example of Abraham Lincoln, who was known for his careful consideration of facts and his reluctance to jump to conclusions, especially in high-stakes situations. His thoughtful approach to decision-making stands as a model of reasoned thinking. Number 3. The cause and effect conundrum, missing the obvious connections. A third quirky habit that might make you wonder about someone's grasp of reality is a consistent struggle to understand basic cause and effect. This habit reflects a lack of logical reasoning, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Stoics believed in understanding the interconnectedness of events and recognizing the natural consequences of actions. As Epictetus stated, every event is linked by cause and effect. The individual who consistently struggles with cause and effect, however, might miss obvious connections between their actions and the resulting outcomes. Imagine someone in New York City who repeatedly shows up late for work and then blames the traffic for their tardiness, completely overlooking their own poor time management skills. This inability to recognize the direct link between their late starts and their chronic lateness can be perplexing to those around them. Research in behavioral psychology highlights the importance of understanding consequences in shaping behavior. The individual who consistently fails to grasp cause and effect might struggle to learn from their mistakes and make better choices in the future. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, who famously persevered through numerous failures before successfully inventing the light bulb. His ability to analyze the causes of his failures and learn from them was crucial to his eventual success, demonstrating a strong understanding of cause and effect. Number 4. The information immune system, resisting the intrusion of new knowledge. Another quirky habit that might suggest a moment of less than genius thinking is an active resistance to learning new information, especially if it contradicts existing beliefs. This habit stands in direct opposition to the Stoic virtue of wisdom and the continuous pursuit of knowledge. Stoics believed in being open to learning and adapting their understanding of the world based on new evidence. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or holding a wrong opinion, I'll gladly change. It's the truth I'm after, and the truth never harmed anyone." The individual with an information immune system, however, often rejects new knowledge out of hand, clinging stubbornly to their existing beliefs, even in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Imagine someone in New York City who insists on using outdated technology or methods in their work, despite clear evidence that newer approaches are more efficient and effective. This resistance to new information can hinder their productivity and limit their potential for growth. Research in cognitive science has shown that actively seeking out and processing new information is crucial for intellectual development and adaptation to a changing world. The individual with an information immune system might be inadvertently limiting their own opportunities for learning and progress. Consider the example of Steve Jobs, who was known for his willingness to embrace new ideas and technologies, even if they challenged existing paradigms. His open-mindedness and embrace of innovation were key to his success in the rapidly evolving tech industry. Number 5. The decision disaster dynamo, consistently navigating towards negative outcomes. A fifth quirky habit that might make you raise an eyebrow is a pattern of making decisions that consistently lead to predictable negative outcomes. This habit reflects a lack of sound judgment and an inability to learn from past experiences, traits that are contrary to the Stoic emphasis on prudence and practical wisdom. Stoics believed in carefully considering the potential consequences of their actions before making decisions. As Epictetus advised, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. The decision disaster dynamo, however, often seems to act impulsively or without fully considering the potential repercussions of their choices, leading to a recurring cycle of negative outcomes. Imagine someone in New York City who repeatedly makes impulsive purchases they can't afford, leading to chronic financial stress. Or the individual who consistently makes poor judgment calls in their personal relationships, resulting in repeated heartbreak and conflict. This pattern of consistently choosing options that lead to negative consequences might suggest a lack of foresight or an inability to learn from past mistakes. Research in behavioral economics has explored the various biases and heuristics that can lead to poor decision-making. The decision disaster dynamo might be particularly susceptible to these cognitive pitfalls. Consider the story of individuals who have overcome patterns of poor decision-making by learning to practice mindfulness, consider potential consequences, and seek advice from trusted sources. Their journey highlights the possibility of developing better judgment over time. Number 6. The repeat offender, stuck in a loop of unlearned lessons. Finally, a habit that might make you gently question someone's capacity for learning is a consistent failure to learn from past mistakes, repeating the same errors despite experiencing negative consequences. This habit stands in stark contrast to the Stoic emphasis on self-reflection and continuous improvement. Stoics believed in examining their past actions, identifying their errors, and striving to do better in the future. As Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." The repeat offender, however, seems stuck in a loop, repeating the same mistakes without demonstrating any evidence of learning or growth. Imagine someone in New York City who repeatedly misses deadlines at work and faces reprimands from their manager, yet continues to procrastinate and fail to plan effectively for future projects. This inability to learn from past negative experiences can hinder their professional development and damage their reputation. Research in learning theory emphasizes the importance of feedback and reflection in the learning process. The repeat offender might be failing to engage in this crucial self-reflection, preventing them from breaking free from their unproductive patterns. Consider the example of successful entrepreneurs who often talk about the valuable lessons they learned from their failures. Their ability to analyze their mistakes and adapt their strategies was crucial to their eventual success, demonstrating the power of learning from experience. In conclusion, while labeling individuals as less than genius might be a humorous oversimplification, observing these 6 quirky habits, living in an echo chamber, making assumptions without checking facts, struggling with cause and effect, resisting new information, consistently making poor decisions, and failing to learn from past mistakes, can offer a lighthearted glimpse into different thinking patterns. From a Stoic perspective, these habits often reflect a lack of reason, intellectual humility, and the ability to learn and adapt. By recognizing these tendencies both in ourselves and in others, with a healthy dose of humor, of course, we can strive to cultivate more open-mindedness, critical thinking, and a greater awareness of the world around us. Now, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on your own thinking habits. Are there any of these quirky tendencies you might occasionally recognize in yourself? Share this article with friends who might appreciate a humorous look at human behavior. And if you enjoyed this mind-tickling exploration, please give this article a like and subscribe to our channel for more insightful and entertaining content on personal growth and understanding the fascinating quirks of the human mind. Thank you for joining me on this lighthearted journey, and I look forward to our next thought-provoking discussion.